Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to show you how to make an iced coffee with the Braun Pure Flavor 14 Cup Coffee Maker, model number KF5650. I made an iced coffee and it tasted pretty good. Okay, so now let's brew it over ice. So this thing acts a little different for over ice. So it's got this little snowflake here. We're going to fill it up to the snowflake with water. And it's got that same, it says max ice cubes right there, but it doesn't have the snowflake on here, but it looks like it's of 7 cups. It's at the 7 cup mark. So we want to fill this up to the 7 mark, not to that mark. So you're going to fill it up to that ice, that snowflake mark. And stop. Now we've got to add our coffee grounds. I've got the filter in. It says to add, so even though we're only brewing 7 cups of water, it wants 14 tablespoons of coffee grounds. So it's going to be a very strong coffee, but when the ice melts, that's going to help dilute it. So we're going to put 14 tablespoons. Okay, I've got my coffee grounds in, my water's into the iced. Let's close the lid. You're going to turn the coffee maker on. My auto on is on, sorry. I turned it off. So you're going to hit the over ice button. Now this does not start the brew. You still have to select fast, regular, or bold. They recommend doing bold. So when you do over ice, to do a bold. I mean, you can do a fast or a regular. So I'm going to do a bold. Once I press the bold button, now it's going to do over ice. So something happened there. You want to make sure that over ice light is lit. So I'm not sure what happened. So I turned it off, turn it back on, hit the over ice button. And when you hit the bold button, the bold and the over ice. So whatever brew you select, both of those should be lit. I must have waited too long because when I pressed the bold, just the bold was lit. So make sure both of those are lit to do over ice. So it brewed for just a second, for about 10-20 seconds, and now it paused. So it acts like it's done brewing, but it's just pausing for a second. And then it's going to start back up. Now, it says not to put the ice. It says to brew the over ice first, then add your ice cubes. Some coffee makers, like the Ninjas, you actually put the ice cubes in, and then you brew the over ice coffee into the ice cubes, but they don't want you to do that here. But I don't know why they would give you the mark, because after you brew, you're not going to be able to put ice in up to that mark. But the instructions say don't put the ice cubes in. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to put the ice in and then do the brew into the ice. Because that's, why would they give you a mark on the side if they didn't want you to do it that way? Again, I just filled it up to the ice mark where it says there's a mark on that says max ice cubes. And now I'm brewing the coffee right into the ice cubes. Let's see if it brews it any different. That's still 186. So the temperature going through the coffee is still the same. Let's check the water up here. Yeah, I'm still seeing about 190 up here, 185. So interesting, it still turns the warming plate on. So the warming plate is still really hot. I was hoping when you do an over ice, it would turn the warming plate off because that's really going to melt that ice. Okay, so that took about 8 or 9 minutes to brew that over ice, but man, is it really melting the ice in there. Okay, so it just beeped at me. It was done brewing. It took about 2 minutes for it to beep at me, but so when you do over ice, it does shut the coffee maker off. It does shut the warming plate off. That is a nice feature, but the warming plate was on during the brew. And as you can see, that is pretty melted. So as it stands right now, that coffee is around 50 degrees. It says to add more ice all the way up to the 14 cup mark. Then it says to stir it in to kind of get everything nice and cool. Okay, so after stirring that, I would like to see it. It's still at 40. I would like to see it around 36, 37. It's starting to get there. It's getting pretty close. So I've got a tumbler here with ice. So I'm going to try this iced coffee. I usually go about there. I love to add me some milk for my iced coffee. And I also like to add a little sugar-free French vanilla. Give me a iced vanilla coffee. Just 2 dabs. Okay, so I stir that up and I'll give it a taste. Okay, so it's an iced coffee. Folgers isn't my best for iced coffee. I like more of a smoother coffee for iced coffee, like a Dunkin' Donuts medium roast, but it's cold enough because I added some ice in the tumbler. It's strong enough. So yeah, I think it can make an iced coffee. That's a lot of iced coffee to make. I mean, you could have everything probably. You could probably, instead of adding 7 cups, add 4 cups of water and then half the amount of coffee grounds. So you might be able to just half everything to get not as much. This does end up being pretty cold. So after it has sat here for just a minute, yeah, we're still hovering around that 40-degree mark. But after you add some ice into there, it's still strong enough and it still does taste pretty good. So I didn't expect it to taste as good as it did, but it's definitely cold and it definitely can make an iced coffee. Thanks everybody for watching. If you could, please like and subscribe.